Developing a roadmap. I like to think of this as step 0. Now, for some of you, you might have all of this already done, and it may just take you 10 days for preparation. But for the others, it may take you perhaps 90 days. So let's go ahead and walk through what we need to do for our preparation phase. So first of all, we're going to develop a message, and don't panic if you haven't started doing that, because I'm going to walk you through that in this course. Next, digital image. If somebody were to Google your company's name right now, what would they see? Blog posts, Facebook page, Instagram page, or just nothing? So you want to focus on your digital image. Next, term sheets. Now, your term sheet is the legal document that binds you and that investor. Do you even know what it is? So I'm going to walk you through that. I'm going to have several term sheets that you can look at, several variations. I'm going to explain to you what some standard terms are, so you know what you should expect going into this. And then due diligence. I like to explain due diligence as the investor checking up on you. So anything that you say in your presentation and your meetings, you have these clients, you have these letters of intent, this is what your pipeline looks like, you have to back that up. So I want to stress right now, don't embellish, because everything that you say in the presentation, everything that you say in a face-to-face meeting will have to be verified. And then the next piece of that is securing that angel or angels, which I like to call the anchor angel, the one who's hopefully going to lead your round. And don't worry if you don't understand what a lead investor is. I'm going to explain that during the course. So what I want you to do is watch all these videos in their entirety and then come back, download this roadmap. There's a downloadable version here in the course, and I want you to stop and figure out with your team how much time that you need. The best times to raise capital are January through May. June is a little bit iffy. And then again in September through November. You don't want to go out raising in December for obvious reasons. It's holiday. And July and August are also travel months, so you don't want to go out then. So what I really want you to do is think about this as your foundation, step 0. You want to develop this roadmap so you understand how much time you need to really prepare a stellar pitch. And now that next phase is pretty standard. It's about 30 days that you're going to be out there on the roadshow, and your roadshow is basically just going to be online for most of you. So how much time do you want to be on AngelList? How much time do you want to be on Rock the Post? 30 days is probably sufficient. If you do all of your homework and you are prepared to be out there, you should be able to complete everything in 30 days. So what happens in that 30-day period? You're working this advertising campaign that you've already established before you went live. You're managing the documents. You are sending your pitch deck out. You're sending back and forth any kind of due diligence requests, any additional information. You're negotiating those terms that you already know about, because remember, during your preparation phase, you reviewed all those different term sheets, you reviewed all the different standard terms, and you know what to expect. And then, of course, it's just signing those final documents. That's the fun part. And then the close, that's when you got to really make sure that you don't let the excitement take over and that you get the wire or you get the physical check and you forget everything else. You want to make sure that you've closed all the loops of communication. You want to understand what the investors expect from you. Some standard things would be submitting of financial documents. Do they want to see your monthly financials or quarterly financials? What type of milestones have they set out for you? Do you understand what they want you to do in order to get additional money? So if they want you to submit financial reports, make sure that you get a bookkeeper or an outsourced CFO or somebody in your company tracking that information, on a weekly basis, so you're not waiting to the time period that they ask and having to be frantically getting those documents to them. So figure out what they want from you. What are the milestones? How are you going to track that? And if this doesn't make any sense to you, don't worry, because we're going to go through everything, tracking metrics, tracking financials, and it should become very, very easy for you. So to recap on our step 0, once you've completed all the courses, all these videos, then you're going to download the funding roadmap. And then that's when you're going to figure out with your team what is the best time frame for you to be able to really sit down and do your preparation right. So when you hit that submit button, you have a really strong presentation, and it should take you about 30 days on the roadshow and you can get closed. So I want to leave you here with a little tip that I strongly believe that when you set a deadline, it keeps you on track because it keeps you motivated. So Make sure that you understand how much time you're going to need, and then set that deadline to keep your team motivated. All right, so I'll see you in the next section.